subscribe with notifications on.
Honestly, don't worry about what people are going to say in a church, because there's a lot of judgment in the Haitian churches because you want to show off, or you're looking for a man in the church. Because it was never like this with me. I just love clothes, okay? And I used to wear gloves to go to church. It was 100 degrees in Florida. I was just being myself. As long as you know you're modest in front of God's eyes, just be yourself.
Welcome to HCLN podcast. We are here back again. My name is Nanay. So today we have the beautiful, gorgeous businesswoman here today. Are you guys ready? No. Y'all ready? Again, remember, take them wigs off, take the heels off, take the nails off, the press-ons, the lashes, so you guys can gulp it all in, because we got some nice stuff that we're going to share with you today. So we have Lovely Joubert Derosier. Please introduce yourself.
Oh, hi, Nanay. My name is Lovely Joubert Derosier.
Yeah.
I just got married in February, but I was born in MARC, Haiti. I came here when I was 14 years old. I migrated from Haiti to Florida. I'm the first out of three girls. So my parents met in La Jeunesse, which I thought was really cool because they met in church. My dad has a church in Haiti. He now has a church in West Palm Beach.
Your dad's a pastor?
Yeah, my dad's a pastor.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, my dad's a pastor. So I've been in ministry all of my life. Yeah.
Awesome. So you were born in Haiti and you came here. So how has the transition been for you coming from Haiti and then growing up here in the States?
Well, at first, honestly, I wanted to move back. When I came here, it was
you came here, you wanted to move back?
As I came here, I wanted to move back because it was just so different. I think it's such a huge transition for a young adult. I was 14 at the time. I left all my friends, most of my family. I didn't speak a word of English. I only spoke French and Creole. And, I wasn't around my family, my grandma, my grandpa. I left them in Haiti. So it was just such a huge transition. But I adjusted to it.
Yeah. So how did you okay, I'm gonna stay here. I love it here, but still maintain my Haitian identity?
Oh, well, that's all I did. I held on to Creole and French forever. I honestly, until now, I could say that it's really hard for me to let go of French and let go of, my love for Haiti, because
so you still speak French fluently?
Bien sûr que oui.
Oh, très bien.
No, I don't let that fool you, okay? Don't let that fool you. That was just, I don't speak French fluently, but I understand French, and I can hold a conversation. Yeah, I can hold several conversations. Yes.
But that's so important, because sometimes we lose the importance of our language, and that's how we pass on our culture. That's part of the culture we gotta pass on to our kids. So the fact that you still speak it, and you speak Creole and the French,
yes.
Please, enseigne-moi, s'il vous plaît. So you're a producer. How did you get into film?
Well, okay, so I was a youth leader at my church, right? And I think when I was a youth leader, I was about 18 or 19 years old. And most of the youth were around the same age. But in the area, there was a lot of gangs in the area. And I'm going to get emotional.
Go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
There was a lot of gangs in the area. And I knew that my boys at the time, they were influenced by gang. And I just needed something to glue them in church, because there's not a lot of activities in the church that can sustain our young boys and girls. So that's how I started doing plays at my church. And then I left that church. I went to a church with 1,500 members. So I was able to do big play productions at my church with 100 to 200 youth. And then one day a lady saw me and she said, "Lovely, I know you're doing plays and I love that you're doing plays, but you should definitely do a movie." And I just said, "Oh wow, not only I can reach out to my community, but I can reach out to other youth, Christian youth,
right?
And and talk to them about the love of God, and because there's so many different stories that you can talk, as a producer. And that's how I got started, and that's how I did my movie, and yeah.
So for people who are entrepreneurs like yourself, how do you feel like, how can we do a better job tying in entrepreneurship into the Haitian church community?
I honestly feel that you just have to get started. I think a lot of us, a lot of the youth, I think we're just scared of what people are gonna think, because filmmaking is not the norm for our Haitian community. There's not a lot of young filmmakers.
Right,
so
they want you to be a nurse, a doctor,
it's not the norm. So if you have an idea and you feel like it's from God, it's from Jesus, that means you're going to help a lot of people. I feel like filmmaking to me is just like preaching the word of God, because there's so many different stories that you can talk, when you're doing filmmaking. So if you are someone who wants to be a filmmaker or who wants to be a producer, you just have to stop thinking about what other people might think and do it, because you never know what lives are you gonna change.
So how did you figure out what your calling was, and what is it like? For people who don't know, like, how did you figure out that that's your purpose, and what exactly is it?
It's so funny you said that, because I was doing so many different things until I found out what my calling was. Okay, so at first at my church, this is a funny story, guys. At my church, I used to do a lot of fashion shows with the youth. I just felt like fashion was my calling, but it really wasn't.
But you guys doing great fashion sense, obviously.
I was doing fashion shows with the youth because, so instead of telling them what not to wear as a Christian men and women, like a young adults, I used to do fashion shows and do do's and don'ts, and have them, strut in the church with short skirts and saying, "This, you're not supposed to come to church with this." And I used to do that, and then I realized my real passion was filmmaking, because I don't know. You'll know it's your passion if you feel like everything else you're doing is wrong. There's something inside of you that's going to feel, even if you're making $1 trillion with whatever else that you're doing, that it's wrong. That's how you'll know what your true passion is.
Yeah.
So, because everything else that I did after that, I loved and enjoyed, but I just felt like it wasn't what God called me to do.
Yeah.
Unless I sit down in front of a computer and start writing.
So are you currently going to a Haitian church or no?
Okay. I am not going to a Haitian church now. I'm going to an American church with my husband. He loves the American church, and I love it too. But no, I'm not going to a Haitian church now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's okay though. There's nothing wrong with that. So now that you do so many different things, you're a filmmaker, you're a businesswoman. Like, how do you do all that you do? And like stay in your purpose. Like, you're a wife, businesswoman, entrepreneur, like you do all of it.
Well, I would say personal development. I do a lot of personal development to just truly know what I should prioritize, and time management. So even though I am a businesswoman, I'm a wife, I know what my priorities are. So I balance and see, what I should give my time more of. Yes, I'm a wife. Yes, I'm a businesswoman, but I am a filmmaker, and that's my calling. I feel. Yes.
So a lot of people don't know, but you're in Monet.
Yes.
So how did you get started in Monet?
Well, I started because my friend called me, and she spoke to me about a business, and she told me to go. And honestly, I told her no like 5 or 6 times. But I don't know. In 2020, I just felt that, I just wanted to try something else, because the time was just so unsure. Just wanted to start something else. And I love the fact that with the business, I can serve other people. I can help other people, make money. So that's how I got started. Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that don't know what Monet is. Like, can you tell them what What is Monat?
What is it? Well, it's a business where you can, we talk about hair, we sell hair products and skincare products, and also you can also build a team as well. You know, there's a stigma attached to a business where you have to build a team, but it's really powerful that you can be in a business where you can help other people make money too. You know, so yeah.
So as a female entrepreneur, you face challenges, and so what are some of the challenges that you've personally faced in trying to get to where you have, you know, gotten? So like, what have you gone through, and what advice can you give to maybe women that might be going through the same thing, that are trying to figure out, where do I fit in this life of mine, of this world, this society, of exactly trying to figure out, what am I going to do with my life? Well,
honestly, I felt at some point I almost lost myself, because I cannot, if I'm being honest, I cannot call myself an entrepreneur. You know, I'm always open to whatever opportunity that I feel that I can fill in for that moment. So sometimes I felt like I'm losing myself. So if I am talking to anybody right now, don't ever lose yourself in any moment or in any opportunity. Know what you want to do and stick to it. Yeah.
So you said you lost yourself. So how did you get back? You know, what was the process like? I know you don't want to get vulnerable, but you know, like, just be real with us. Like, what was it like to go from being lost and then, like, you know what, I got this, you know, and the process is hard, but what was that like for you?
Well, I cleaned my entire environment. All the outside voices, all the, you know, bad friends, or, you know, people that I felt like is not supposed to be in my environment. I cleaned it, and I'm just gonna say this to a lot of youth that are watching. I do a lot of fasting. I fast a lot just so that I can hear the voice of God, because only in the presence of God can you know what you're supposed to be doing. Because God is really gonna talk to you and tell you, you know, what is it that I really want you to do. So I fast a lot. I do a lot of, you know, I pray a lot to God. And one day, I went to church, and my pastor called me, like right after my fasting, and he just gave me a word that just confirmed everything. And honestly, I feel like we're always looking for answers from other people, and we're always looking for answers even within ourselves. And the answer is, God is the only one that can give you the answer to what He really wants you to do in your life. So it is important that the youth knows that you need to talk to God, because you are wasting your time if you're just only talking. It's okay to talk to people. If you're just only talking to people, or if you're only asking yourself, what am I supposed to do? If you're only going to school to just get a master's or get a PhD. But what about God? He's right there. He wants you to talk to Him, you know, because like, I honestly, there's nothing that I've been doing in my life and that God hasn't been there for me and hasn't been clear to me. So I just feel like we're not using our main resource, which is God. And I think that's why a lot of women are losing themselves, and they're just going with the flow, because we're not talking to our true resource, which is God.
And for you, what does hearing from God sound like? Like, what is that for you? Like, how do you, like, know, like, ça c'est bon Dieu, oui? Or it's like, or is it my stomach growling, making some noise or whatever?
Well, when God is speaking to you, His voice is very, very, very low. He doesn't make a lot of noise when He's speaking to you. The smallest, the tiniest voice inside of you is usually God. So I always know when it's God, because there's not a lot of noise, there's not a lot of opportunities, and it's just there's some type of peace that you find within yourself. You know, for example, I wanted to write something, and I've been procrastinating. I'm the worst procrastinator in the entire world. It's terrible. And I was just praying about it. And then someone just messaged me and said, I want you to be part of my project. Like a project that he wants to pitch for Netflix. And I was just blown away, because that's what I was just talking to God about. So there's so many different ways that God can talk to you. You know, he can talk to you in a dream. You just have to have the spirit of discernment to know if it's God.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? Like, because, I mean, I can't keep up with you, you know? So what does the next, 5, 6, 7, 8 months versus the next 2, 3 years, like what are the projects you're currently working on? Or, you know, so you said you have something going on with Netflix, so when can we expect to see?
Wait, I didn't say that.
No. So that was a project that was behind a closed door? Okay.
What's next for me? I am currently writing a featured film.
Okay.
And that I'm hoping to pitch with different TV shows, and God had, you know, He's blessed me with so many different people that I can, you know, pitch like different projects with different, you know, televisions. So I'm writing something right now. I have a script that that's done, but I'm currently writing something right now that I feel that's going to be very good for our community, and especially for the Christian community, because I'm going to touch a very, 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 very sensitive subject in the Haitian community. I don't know if I should say it here,
Come on,
but it's going to be very, very, okay. I'm going to talk about voodooism in the Haitian community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's big. That's big.
It's huge.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it might not be how people would see it, especially Christian. So I'm not going to be biased.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so everyone know you are super duper fashionable, right? I mean, and you know, at one time you even thought maybe that would be like where you would like be. So we have some of our Haitian ladies, older ladies that are out there that may not be so fashionable. Like, so what advice would you give to our struggling older ladies in the church or out there, like, as how they can step up their fashion sense?
Honestly, like, a great fashion sense to me is an opinion. Because Kanye... do you see what Kanye is calling fashion and everyone loves it? So fashion to me is just you being yourself. Okay. I remember I always push the envelope in my church, because in my church you weren't allowed to wear makeup, hair, weave, or anything like this. And I used to wear gloves to go to church, and you know, it was 100 degrees in Florida.
So you were just different.
Yeah, just I used to do a lot of different things. I was just being myself. Like, I couldn't help it, just to be myself. So if you want to look good, honestly, don't worry about what people are going to say in a church, because there's a lot of judgment in the Haitian churches. There's a lot of people that says, you know, if you look nice, it's because you want to show off, or you're looking for a man in the church or anything like this. It was never like this with me. I just love clothes, okay? That's why at that time, I didn't have any money in my bank account, because I love clothes. I love putting things together. So just be yourself. As long as you know you're modest in front of God's eyes, just be yourself.
I love that. I love that. Well, Lovely, I have to thank you, because you gave us some great words, and you allowed us to get to know you a little bit better, because a lot of stuff I didn't know. So thank you for being part of this podcast. We appreciate you. Do you have any last words that you would like to say to the viewers and listeners out there?
Well, the biggest thing that I want to say is I want to talk to the dads that's watching, young dads. Love your daughters. It's going to mold them. It's going to instill so much confidence in them. I am very confident, and my confidence has nothing to do with how I look on the outside. It has everything to do with how my God loved me and how He loves me now. I remember in Haiti, my dad used to pick me up with his bike. He didn't have a car. I said I wasn't gonna cry. He used to pick me up, and he used to drop me in school in his bike, and he used to pick me up in school in his bike. And my dad, I didn't even want to leave my house. I love that I'm married, but I was crying before I got married. But what I really wanted to say is, love your kids. Tell them that you love them. Tell them that they're amazing. Tell them that they can accomplish great things. And that's how we're going to have more leaders. It's almost impossible for a student I said student, I used to be a teacher.
Yeah.
But it's almost impossible for a child to be very confident if they don't see that in their house. So start in the household.
Yeah.
We need to start breaking generational curses. This generation, we need to start loving our kids. We need to start telling them that we love them. My mom, every time my mom calls me, she always say, I love you.
Aww.
Until now. My dad will send me I love you messages until now.
And that's not typical for Haitian parents.
Yeah, my dad is very sweet. Like my dad does grocery shopping for the house. He washes my clothes sometimes when I used to live with them. So I have so much love around me, and that's what I really want to share with the world.
Yeah.
I want to share love with the world, and no one can be like this if you don't start as a kid, you know, very young. So I just want to talk to the mom and dad. Just love your kids. That's how we're gonna change the world, if we love our kids, if we start very young. And if you're watching and you didn't have that growing up, it's okay. Now it's time for you to love on your neighbors.
And change that.
And change that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Thank you. So guys, again, you heard it here. So thank you again for tuning in to this awesome podcast. Come back, come listen, come watch. We love you guys.